I feel like the fear of being a burden to the people that we love is stopping us from sharing our feelings to them. And because of that, we bottle it up, right? We bottle it up within ourselves, and as that continues to happen, it will get to a point wherein you can't take it anymore. The bottled emotions will just burst. You will get to a point wherein you can't control it. You can't bottle it up anymore because you can't. You can't just take it anymore because you've reached your point. You've reached your breaking point emotionally. And even though you know to yourself that the people that you love will gladly help you and listen to your problems or your feelings or anything, you still don't want to be burdened to them. And I understand that. I understand where that's coming from. Right? That's coming from a point of care. Right? You care about them. And you don't want to burden them with anything, even though you're aware that they're more than willing to help you, right, with your problems. And I think that's where the having an outlet for your emotions comes in. And I've talked about this in my previous video about having an outlet for your emotion, and not just for the negative emotions, but also the positive emotions as well. And I know that when it comes to feelings, it's not that easy to share it with others, right? Even with the people that you love. And I think the main reason why we don't do that is because we want to have the ability to handle it ourselves, because we know that they might not always be there for us. And I understand that, right? That's a great mindset for it. But you have to know and you have to be aware that you will get to a breaking point wherein you will need someone to let out your emotions to, right? To someone you can burst your emotional bottles with. And most likely those people are your loved ones, right? The people that you care about. But we have the fear of being a burden to them. And that's a valid point. That's a valid argument. But you have to know that we're humans, right? And no matter how great we are, no matter how great of a specimen we are, we get to a breaking point. We have a limit. And what I want to say is, don't push yourself to a point wherein you get to the degree of your bottled emotions cannot be kept anymore. You should always reflect and make sure that you're still in a great place emotionally. And how can you do that? It's with having an outlet for your emotions. I've talked about this more deeply in my previous video, but especially if you have people who are willing and that you know that you will not be a burden or anything like that, just share it to them, right? And I'm quite aware and sure that you already know this, but they're more than willing to help you, right? But it's just our fear, right, of being a burden to them, because we know that they're also dealing with things, dealing with their own thing. But you have to get rid of that fear. You have to let it go. You have to let go of that fear of being a burden to the people that you love, because you're not. You're not a burden to anyone. Well, you're being a burden to yourself in that way, because you're hindering yourself in reaching out to the people that you care the most, to the people that you love, right? Because they don't really see you, and I know this, as a burden, because the people that you care about care about you too, if not more than how you care about them, right? Because especially if the people around you are aware and knowledgeable about the things that you're going through, about how you handle things, of course they'll be there for you without a second thought. And it's not something, I know that it's not, that it's hard to do. I know it's hard to open up with the people that we love, the people that we care about, even though that we know that they're more than willing to help us. But take the initiative, see where it comes or see where it goes, and gauge it. Gauge on how people will react to it. And I know it's a scary thing to do, especially if you're not used to talking about your feelings or anything like that. Not if you're not, what do you call this, dependent on other people, or dependent on in terms of your feelings, right? That's what I'm talking about. And it's quite hard to do. It's a daunting task. It's a daunting thing because we have, stereotypes with feelings, right? And it's not just about men, it's also about women. It's people in general when it comes to feelings, because a lot of people, well, can I say that? I can. I'm based on observation. A lot of people just brush it off. They brush off the feelings and to just stomach it, swallow your emotions, and just put it aside. And I think personally that's not a healthy thing to do. That's not a healthy habit, because you will come to a point wherein those emotions that you put aside will come back and haunt you stronger, with more fiercer than ever, because those feelings were set aside and weren't handled properly. They weren't faced head on. They weren't solved, right? They were unsolved feelings. They were there, but they weren't solved, right? Because if you put aside your feelings and just let them sit there, it will accumulate, right? It will accumulate, and it will come to a point wherein it will haunt you, and you will reach a point, or you will reach a limit where you cannot hide it anymore. You cannot bottle it up. It will just burst out of your emotions, or out of your eyes, out of you. And it's something that's, at least what I think, is unhealthy, because I personally think that you should handle the feelings that you're currently feeling as soon as possible, as swiftly as possible, and as humane as possible, right? Because I don't know if it's something that's a valid point or an argument, but people now are more aware and more knowledgeable about the effects of the emotional side of things, right? I'm talking about its horrible side, or its capabilities of what it can bring to a person. If someone like bottles up his or her emotions, right, it will get to a point wherein it becomes deadly. It becomes harmful, not just to himself or herself, but to the people around him as well. And I don't know, I know I'm just a single voice, but I know there are people out there like me who really want to put out a message out there that don't bottle up your emotions. seek help, right? Seek help professionally or with the people that you care and trust, right? Share your feelings with them. And if you don't, or if you can't take that step yet, you can take it easy and have an outlet for yourself. An outlet by yourself that you can express your emotions, that you can burst them out, right? It doesn't matter what it is. Well, it matters, of course, if it's if it's harming other people. Just make sure that it's something that beneficial to you and will not harm other people, right? It can be singing, dancing, talking, sports, exercise, anything like that, just to cope and handle your emotions, that you can let out your emotions with. And it's one of the ways that you can handle your emotions if you're not comfortable yet in approaching other people. And I think I yapped for quite a while now. I'm not sure, but I hope you got something out of this video. I hope you learned something that you can use for yourself and maybe change your perspective in a way. And check your friends, check your family, check the people around you, and just say what's up, right? Just say what's up and see how they're doing, see how they're holding up. And check yourself, of course. Reflect on yourself, on how you are, what your state you're in right now, and you should be, or you must always be aware of how you always see things, how you react to things, because it's you, right? You are the only person who can really tell how you as a person personally will react to different things. And one way to do that is by reflection. Reflect on the things that you do, reflect on the things that you've made decisions with, and how you react to people in different scenarios. And gauge whether you have to change something or not, right? What else? I guess that's about it. Stay awesome.